Day World War II offered a brand new update which gave us the brand new Days of Summer event, and along with that a ton of new content. Now with that also came a title update, one that we were looking forward to as a community for quite some time, and with that we ended up getting not only a bunch of different changes that were detailed on Monday before the patch even went live, but also visible changes that you can see now in game that really change out what the look of World War II is and some of the things on offer in the game. So today I wanted to take a look at everything the update really changed within Call of Duty World War II, and so with that we're going to be taking a look at a long list of changes and visual updates to the game that you may notice or may not notice when you jump right into Call of Duty World War II. So that said, let's jump right into it. First things first, as soon as you select to play online, you'll be prompted to jump in with a new loading screen. This one themed for Days of Summer. Previously, we've seen it with DLC 3, DLC 2. The Attack of the Undead event had one as well. So we had all sorts of different loading screens changed out, but this one is brand new for Days of Summer. You see the boat, you see the beach, you see all that good stuff that is kind of a preview of what's to come in the headquarters and everything once you fully get situated there. Once you load into the game, once you are online and you have the options to go different places, the first thing you'll be met with is a brand new quick menu UI and maybe even the news tab depending on which one you load into or what you go to first. Personally, my news tab still might be a little glitched. I didn't get the counter for the event last time, and if there's one now, I still don't have it, but regardless, the new quick menu UI will give you a new look at the previews for headquarters as well as a different look for Butcher as well, and from there you can end up going into a number of different places. So with the biggest changes coming visually in the headquarters, let's go there next. Firstly, once you jump into the headquarters, you'll notice that it's a bright new headquarters, the brightest we've actually ever seen. We've seen some very night and day differences from Attack of the Undead and other events. It's not overcast, it's a sunny, nice day out, and you'll see there's all sorts of different beach-themed items there. One of the big things you jump into is that you see different spray paints for Days of Summer. You see the beach balls, you see the beach canopies, you see the umbrellas and the grills with the hot dogs and burgers, all that kind of stuff that really just brings you to a beach vibe, which is essentially what the headquarters was turned into. You'll notice a lot more sand rather than dirt, and so therefore just playing into the thematic realms of Days of Summer. Now, other thematic changes include, say, the Score Streak Tower. That's now a lifeguard station. You end up seeing beach balls in the firing range and those tires whenever you throw a grenade in and blow those up. There's all kinds of different cool things out there on the headquarters for you guys to take a look at. Some other smaller things is that there also is the sandbox map seen in the lower portion of the headquarters as well, and it also looked like the 1v1 pit layout was changed around a bit also. But ultimately, I think this might be one of my favorite headquarters that we've seen so far. But outside of headquarters and the visual stuff, what else changed? Because again, like we mentioned, there is a lot that went into this. Let's start out with some things you can also see on the quick menu UI. Let's start with the orders firstly. So if you end up going into this, of course, you have your weeklies that change out every single week, and your dailies are still daily changing, obviously. The weeklies are 75 multi-kills, 500 kills, 30 score streaks for a rare supply drop of each. But you'll also notice that we have a few stable daily orders that are available from Major Howard. The first one being a Days of Summer bribe for completing 30 multiplayer matches. Now, I haven't tested it through and gone through one of these just yet, but it might to me seem like it's on the rotation where you finish one and another is available for the daily order the next day if you end up completing it again in a 24-hour window. That's something that if that's the case, that would actually follow what happened with Liberty Strike, and I'm all for that because I ended up getting 7 or so bribes at that point for last event, and that was a great way to chip away at getting everything from the Liberty Strike collection. So if we can do that again here, but with the Days of Summer, I'm all for that. Now, the next big one also that was changed out was that of a new summer weapon bribe. That is right next to this one in selections for Major Howards, and this one is for 35 match completions. Now, as it started, it showed up as a visual glitch, but that's something that might be fixed by now here for you guys. I'm not entirely sure, but as of getting the footage and everything yesterday, it was a little bit of a visual glitch, but it would show up where you end up getting a weapon bribe of one of the 3 new weapons for World War II's Days of Summer. Now, this is something that I'm probably going to assume it's going to be on the same rotation as the last event as well, where we had a weapon, charm, and helmet, and a uniform bribe. All 4 of those were once you completed one, it would move on to the next one. We saw that with Liberty Strike, so I would assume it's the same thing here with that, but again, haven't completed my 35 matches to go through that one just yet to validate it. But those are your brand new orders here within Major Howard and what the Days of Summer event updated with. But what about contracts? Because we can see a little bit of a slight change here at this one, not all that much compared to what it normally would be or anything too grandiose, but we end up seeing the AVS-36 is the weapon contract for this week. Again, as always, pick this one up if you have the opportunity to. One of my favorite weapons in the game right now, so if you guys have not gotten any variants here of that, definitely worth picking up. But as for the other contracts, none of them are really changed out. They're all the same here from what we've seen previously, but one other thing that we'll also see that was added in as of recently with this update to the Quartermaster was that of the Days of Summer starter bundle. That was added for 2,400 COD points. I'm not a huge fan of doing that kind of stuff, haven't spent a single dime on COD points in World War II, don't plan on it, but if you guys are into that, it'll give you a few drops, some credits, and double XP also for an hour time frame, all for 2,400 COD points. So that's up to you. Again, I personally wouldn't go for it, but that was added in with this update. But as for other things we can see from Butcher and the Quartermaster, we can go over to the collections, because new collections and weapons, uniforms, charms, camos, all that kind of stuff were added in with this new update. So we firstly have 2 weapons and 4 collections in total for the Days of Summer collections, and then also we have 2 additionals added to Operation Overlord, in which one of those is a weapon as well. So the 3 brand new weapons are the Ribby Rolls, the Automaton, and the 3-line Sniper, but it's actually the priciest set of weapons that we've seen in World War II thus far, if I'm not mistaken. Just over 77,000 armory credits for all 3. And honestly, that's kind of where I'm at with this, where I haven't really decided which one I want, because my luck with my supply drops wasn't all that great this time around. And I certainly don't have 77,000. I think I'm just short of getting 2 of the 3 weapons, but with that being said, I can only get 1, and I can't decide which I want out of the 3, so I haven't even unlocked any of them. So your guess is as good as mine right now onto which one is worth it the most. I know a lot of my friends in the content creating world have put up videos talking about their thoughts and opinions on them, so if you guys want to check those out, feel free to. But regardless, those are there available once again for, in total, about 77,000 armory credits. But there are new weapons, new uniforms, new collections, all that kind of stuff. One thing that I found surprisingly funny was that some of these new uniforms actually show off the knees of the soldiers, which is the first time we've seen in World War II. And talking with Sledgehammer yesterday on stream, it was kind of surprising to see how much of a developmental address it had to go into it, where they had to actually take and design a knee, whereas you don't really think about that kind of stuff, but it's smaller, but does need done. But I digress. Let's get a little bit more into the other stuff. There are new modes now for World War II. We have the dogfighting mode, we have Sandbox 24/7 for those on PlayStation 4, and Leprechaun Hunt is back as well. So Dogfight is a brand new mode in which it is taking the portion of Husky where you're flying the planes and you're in an aerial battle. It's a TDM essentially of 1st to 35, and that's something that added 2 new maps specifically built for that mode. Egyptian Sands and Crimean Mountains both cinematically look gorgeous. These are so great to look around and just fly around with, and honestly, I kind of hope this stays for the rest of World War II. I had a ton of fun playing it preliminarily and right off the bat here within World War II's Days of Summer, so if that's something that can stick around, I'm all for it. But you guys may have differing opinions, totally fine if that's the case. But also added in was, once again, Sandbox. That's the new map within World War II's Days of Summer on PlayStation 4 only right now, but not entirely sure why. I played only on TDM yesterday, and I think a couple of matches of Kill Confirmed on that, but it is a mosh pit of different modes that you'll end up seeing in rotation. But as for how frequent other modes come up, that is, again, where I'm a little perplexed with it, because I did play so much of the same thing. But Sandbox is a lot of fun. I think if you guys have access to it, you should totally try it out. I even dropped a V2 rocket on it, so it's something that's pretty solid if somebody like me can drop that on like 3rd, 4th game on or something. So definitely a lot of fun, or at least I found it a lot of fun because I was doing very well with it. But the final thing that was added in here with this event was Leprechaun Hunt Mosh Pit. That's back from when we saw it last in Shamrock and Awe. This is where you can end up playing a standard mosh pit of different modes, TDM, Kill Confirmed, all that kind of stuff. But the catch is that there's a leprechaun that spawns in a couple of times each match, and if you kill the leprechaun, you get your full streaks right away. Your entire score streak meter fills up to max, and therefore you can get anything you want. That including even the highest tier streaks, so it's a lot of fun if you guys want to run those and get some challenges done or something like that, but it is there for you guys to check out if you guys want to do that. Next up, we're going to get into some things that aren't necessarily listed per se and might might take a little bit more of some hands-on approach to realize there were changes made at all. One thing though, firstly jumping into a little bit more of a jump back into weapons. Weapon camos were added in with Overlord. There were of course a handful more added in with this, and one also following a little bit of a gag that Sledge has with a lot of the community with Tree Gate. The tree camo is now an Easter egg camo here at that, but available in Operation Overlord. Something that's just from that, once again, meme that was started, then turned into a video, and then now in-game in its own right. After that, we end up seeing Master Prestige rewards were added in. This is something that if you guys aren't there, it's gonna be all locked up for you guys. And even some people that aren't even those ranks that give them their rewards, sometimes it's locked up or doesn't even show up entirely. I know that my stuff for uniforms didn't show up, or I don't have it unlocked because of some visual glitches and everything like that, but that's stuff that will be worked out here in the next coming days as more hotfixes go out and fix these issues. Anytime there's an update, it always touches on some of the things that otherwise would be hidden in terms of developmental just strings of code. So there are things that pop up from time to time, Master Prestige rewards being one of those, but there are new camos at 56, 200, 400, 600, 800, and 1000, and new uniforms on the odd level 100s as well. Additionally, one cool thing that was also added on top of the camos and uniforms was social score batch rewards as well, because with each now incremental level 100, 200, 300 rank, you end up getting something brand new. You end up also getting 5,000 social score per incremental unlock and 15,000 once you reach level 1,000. So if you are somebody that's still going for that social score rank and you're ranking up and still having the fun of all that, it's going to be just a nice little bonus towards that social score. I think that honestly, if I keep ranking up, that might even be how I hit the max tier social rank, by continuing to do so, because once you get up to 19 and 20, it is an insane amount of social score you need to move along, and daily orders and the commending players doesn't get you all that far anymore. But that's a nice little bonus here that we didn't really think about going into it. But after that, some other things that changed out, one being the mail station. That's actually been changed. Unfortunately, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I think, here up on the channel, where I talked about going into zombies and multiplayer's mail stations. That was something, if you were Master Prestige, you ended up getting 300 in multiplayer and then 200 in the zombies mail station, and you could essentially farm a lot more armory credits per 4 hours, but that's actually been adjusted. Now they both share the same timer. So if you're Master Prestige, you'll end up seeing 300 in zombies or 300 in multiplayer, but you can't get both of them anymore, unfortunately. So that's gonna be something that if you redeem one, it'll redeem it also in the other. So less farming, but you can still get an amount of social score also. But kind of a bummer once again that it was a little fixed out here with that one. But regardless, that's gonna move us over into the next thing. Once again, we talked about Sledge putting on the flak event a little bit more, and that's something you'll definitely notice if you jump in the headquarters now. It is very much so apparent that it was turned on, or at least the intensity of it was increased, so it's a lot more frequent. Another minor update that Sledgehammer added in that kind of went under the radar is if you're a max social score rank, they actually adjusted the nameplate once again. Previously, it was something that we only had the little triangle above the name to indicate a verification within Call of Duty World War II. Later on, we ended up getting an update to that where it gave a little scrolling lens flare across the bottom of your name. Now it actually changed the entire nameplate where it's denoted as a darker blue as a sort of highlight or backdrop to your name overall, like an individual calling card in the headquarters behind your name essentially, but it made a little bit more of an adjustment here for that. Very minor, but something that if you are max social score rank, you'll definitely notice, and I personally think this is a nice addition. Small, but definitely nice, because grinding out to max rank within World War II on social score is not something that is a quick rank up sort of thing. That takes a long time, and so very little was there to reward players that got there, but this one is, again, minor, but at least something that is a little bit nicer, I think. And the final thing that I want to talk to you guys about here with things that changed is actually the new community challenge items, because these were added in on top of everything. Also, if you want to talk about some things that were added in and aren't unlocked just yet, the Iron Curtain 2 is available in your preview menu for the PPSH if you want to check that out, but I digress. Let's get back to the community challenge stuff. We also see that right now there is going to be at least one camo, one charm, one helmet, and a Cruiser 2 variant not yet in the game that will be given for the community challenge here with Days of Summer. Now, again, as for right now, I don't see any tracker on my PlayStation 4 and on my account. It might be out there for you guys, but that was also something that was changed about and what is also going to round out this video here with this one. So that said, that is everything that changed here with this update regarding Days of Summer, that title update we got here for World War II. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Did I miss anything? Is there anything in particular you were hoping changed, or whatever it may be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around on this rather rather a long video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with all things regarding Call of Duty World War II, Black Ops 4, anything in relation to best class setups, tips, tricks, news, information, updates, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure that subscribe button. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram as well, get a little more active over there, so that link is also in the description for you guys to check out if you want to do that. But all that said and out of the way, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching. My name has been Espresso. Take care, and peace.